Hello. In 1984, Atari canceled the 1090XL expansion system. And the 1090XL expansion system was basically a metal chassis, and it had this board in it, or actually this is a remake, but it had a board similar to this in it, and it provided 5 expansion slots so you could upgrade your computer just by using that parallel port in the back of the 600XL or 800XL. Some boards were developed for it. For example, there was a 64K RAM board that was developed for it. This could also provide either 64K for a 600XL, or it could provide, in banking mode, 64K banked in 16K Windows. And it had as a jumper on it, so you could install 2 cards and add an additional 128K RAM. I'm going to apologize ahead of time if I pronounce his name wrong, but Klaus Buchholz has determined the chip that would be installed here in order to upgrade this to 256K DRAM chips. So this particular card, well, 2 of these cards could have supplied a whopping 512K of RAM, which in 1984 would have been pretty impressive. This also has a 40-pin connector on top, so it could supply the memory to other cards. That's been tested and does work. But this card, it's not really practical anymore. It requires parts that are no longer available. So it's been recreated more as a test piece and a curiosity. The next card is an 80-column card. This one here has been remade by Ken Ames, and he just sent it to me, and it just recently arrived. This 80-column card works with older monochrome monitors, and it has its own character set on. In fact, you could determine if you had another character set on it. There's a jumper for an alternate character set. This card also uses some components no longer available, but it's pretty cool. Would also been nice in 1984 to have a card such as this. Parallel serial card is under development, but what is available today? Well, today we have 16K of RAM on this computer. This is a 600XL, and this 600XL is somewhat stock. It has 16K of RAM. It does have an S-Video upgrade. The monitor doesn't display it too well. It's a fault of the monitor, not the computer. Does display really nice with a nicer screen. But with this card here, we can... I'm sorry, that's not the card. With this card, we can go ahead and we can upgrade the computer to 64K of main RAM and 256K of extended RAM. And this will also provide the PBI RAM that Atari spec'd out and never provided. And it's part of the 1090 specification, and really the parallel port specification. But this will provide that memory as well. And it can be disabled for compatibility reasons. Now if we go ahead and we install this guy, we will instantly upgrade our computer to 64K of RAM with 256K of extended RAM. So now that we've got it upgraded, for example, we can go ahead and we can run something like Prince of Persia. And we'll plug that in. Now you need at least 64K for the computer to boot with this side 3 card. And here's Prince of Persia loading. You'd never get this far if you didn't have enough memory. So this is the demo at the beginning. It's going to load and you can play the game. Another card that has been created, and I don't happen to have the keypad available for it, but there's a CX85 numeric keypad. And the CX85 numeric keypad allows you to, or the card allows you to plug the keypad in, and it already has the driver on the ROM chip. So you don't have to boot off of a floppy disk or do anything funky in order to go ahead and use the keypad. You can just plug this in and use the keypad. And it has the connector on it and everything's ready to go. The next card available is, well, right now I can run Mule with this, but it takes a while to load. Now I have two floppy drives configured here, and the first floppy drive, the top floppy drive, both of them are configured as D1, but the bottom floppy drive does not have a happy enhancement in it. The top one has a happy 7.1 in it. So you can hear how slow it's loading. So we can even upgrade that with the Atari 1090 XL. So if we want to go ahead and have a faster load time, say with the high-speed SIO, for example, we can go ahead and we can make that upgrade. Now, we can hear it loads a little faster because it's buffering, doing track buffering in the Happy. The Happy can load faster yet. So, I created this card, and it's still under development, but this card here allows you to go ahead and load the high-speed SIO. It has the Fast Math F Plus on it. It has some extensions to the keyboard, so the keyboard or the keyboard interrupt, so that way you can do things like Shift Control Delete does a cold start. You can do Shift Control Insert and get into WASMON, which is the machine code monitor. Also, if you have it on an even device ID, it'll invert the option key. So yeah, it has some cool features that are added. Now, if I also went and took the liberty of adding back the Atari Fuji, if we go into the self-test screen, so we have the Atari Fuji display, which I thought was kind of cool. If we go ahead, and because we have SRAM, we have to turn the machine off, or the 1090 off and back on each time. Another thing about the 1090 is, for some reason, some cards prefer certain slots. I haven't found any rhyme or reason yet. Now you can see, I hope, that the ready prompt's all the way to the left. That was another change made with the card. If we do a Shift Control Inverse Video, we can go ahead and get to the WASMON. So we could see what's, say, in the stack. I don't know how well this will show up right now, but that's already part of it, so the stack is displayed, WASMON's on it. If we want to go ahead and do something even more productive, like play a good game of Mule with a happy enhancement, we can go ahead, and now we have high-speed SIO. So the high-speed SIO is going to, of course, load things about 3 times faster than stock. So to give you an idea how fast it loads, it'll take somewhere around 15 seconds or so, and we'll have the game, well, in demo mode playing. Maybe 20. I'd have to time it, but it's a lot faster than stock. Stock takes, like I said, about 3 times longer. Other cards that have been made available and there's the 80 column card, which is an HDMI card. I used the XEP80 project that somebody created, wish I had his name handy, but created to run on a Raspberry Pi Pico. I created drivers for it based upon drivers needed for the XEP80 and the 80 column card. Those are in the ROM, so it's literally you plug it in, you're ready to go, and it'll run with it'll run the HDMI. So if we go ahead and install this card, and we'll plug it into HDMI, we will now have HDMI video once I go ahead and change the proper input over. And here we have HDMI video with the ready prompt, and we will have a little bit more memory because, hey, we are no longer using main memory for the memory. Now, something else that works with 80 columns is this guy. This guy is a Z80 card, and you can run CP/M off of it. So we'll go ahead and install that next, and it has its own memory on the card. and works fine with the 80 column card. So let's turn this off, install our Z80 card, and I guess we will need a floppy disk for CPM. So we have this, and we'll turn it on, and we should shortly have CPM loaded. Of course, it is loading with the high-speed SIO routines as well. And here's CPM. Another card that was recreated, I recreated this card based on pictures. And this is the prototype card that Atari had to allow people to prototype their own 1090 cards for their system. So, and there was probably, there had to have been 15 or 20 cards that Atari was thinking about creating for the 1090. Right now there is a sound card somebody created, and that sound card, I haven't had the chance to test it, but a sound card had been created for the 1090, and this is what we've got so far. Hopefully at some point we'll get better specifications for the chassis for the 1090, and somebody will be able to reproduce the chassis, but working on the cards takes a lot of time and effort as well. I'm also hoping other people will come up with card ideas and make new cards for it as well, because it allows you to expand your system as much as you want. A FujiNet card I have a design for, but I have yet to really seriously get started for it. But a FujiNet could be installed in the 1090 as well. So it basically, the only limitations with the 1090 are what the internal MMU or memory management unit doesn't handle. So if the memory management unit is okay with it, you can do it. And there's ways to work around that as well. For example, you can completely replace the OS from a 1090. However, you do have a caveat with the MMU and with how port B is handled, that any software that messes around with port B can possibly crash your system. So yeah, it does work. I've done it, but I decided the best way to do OS improvements is through a system that uses the OS as opposed to replaces it. So that's everything I have for now. Thank you for watching. Take care.